Okay, let's go ahead and open up the executive, or I'm sorry, the all committees.
I've been doing it for myself lately. I can get it available faster.
Oh, that's for yourself, one.
Well, it's for the world. I get it up. I'll put it online.
Thank you, Chair.
So I tell people it's for the world. You know, put it up on YouTube.
So I don't know what the and need to go. Hello, Mr. Zone.
How are you, Brad?
You like this?
Agriculture for life.
Yeah, lower here.
They used to send
Okay, let's kick this off real quick. Hey Scott, this is the stuff that I was trying to call in. I don't know if that has any effect. Also, I gave, not this one, but I gave Mitchell one of these.
Okay.
I don't know if it comes into play. This one.
Yeah.
So I gave Mitchell one of those.
I got a bunch. I got this thing.
Oh, you get that already?
I did.
Yeah, so I don't know if you get this stuff.
It's
Some
well,
of
you
this
know,
stuff
I don't know why I do and don't get some things, so I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Oh, yeah,
Better
so
safe than sorry.
what I'm doing is, as I get pieces that relate to your areas,
Good.
then I'll distribute those out to you. Hey, let me ask you.
Sure.
I know we talked about this way up front when we first started. Do you still want to do anything with the Parks Committee? We're pretty much resolved the attic issue.
We'll do 3 or 4 hours, depending on what I do.
Just making reports on what we get coming out of the Parks and Rec.
which means the battery
State Park
is
and Rec.
old.
Actually, it's City County.
It's a function of the age of the battery itself and also the technology behind the cells and the battery when I was engineer.
Their next one is in December on the 15th.
And then I just attend the meeting.
Yeah, just
Like-
Is it like the second meeting?
Yeah, and a little bit smaller,
A fire.
smaller audience.
And I would sit in the audience?
Yeah, actually, it would be
Aspire?
kind of a round table kind of thing. And they only have about 10 or 11 people in their program, and with a couple, I guess, that they.
It's one of the also, well, it's not even a 50.
Not more than 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, resolution, you got the resolution that I put out, right?
That's good,
For
though.
our situation here.
Huh?
It's more portable that
I'll
way.
get you a
Oh,
copy.
yeah, you know, the battery.
And with that
becomes
resolution
like
that we put in, we addressed all of our parts. So we're a big
Okay.
drive first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
underneath,
we
you know?
So we
So
addressed
that
all of our
it-
parts.
it
we identified
cools it
specifics.
off.
We need that
But you know,
resolution.
the fan is more heavy than anything, you know?
And they're supposed to.
Some of those
make
come with
a
batteries too,
decision
Jerry.
And no, it takes.
on our resolution and say whether they can adopt it. Now, their first quick reading, I gave it to
Is,
them, they went, this is
what
good.
is it, 4.5 pounds?
They're leaning in the right direction.
It's one of the light ones.
But, you know, I'll get in touch with you.
The minimum on the,
is,
next meeting, where's the meeting tonight?
In different places. The next one's gonna be at Salt Lake.
And this meeting I attend, is
Steve
statewide
for
or
video
district?
processing.
Just pertaining to
Fair amount done.
Yeah, we're only doing stuff that pertains to Evan. The only reason we want to get in there now is because the resolutions that we have on their table. So we want to follow through to make sure that they're doing the resolution.
It's,
Okay, yeah, I'm on it.
Okay.
What's that called? What am I doing? Well, that's a
It's
committee.
Parks and Rec Committee.
Okay.
Now, let me, let's get started, guys, okay? We're about 10 minutes behind here, so let's kind of get started. Just real quick, I just want to clarify, first of all, I just talked to Clay about taking the Parks and Rec Committee for EVA board. So he'll do a lot of the follow-up. Now, many times, like I just didn't really tell you, I go to these meetings also, especially because we have issues there right now.
Okay.
All right, so I'll be with you, and Kurt might even come out, or somebody else may come out. But at any rate, we just go to that, and we try to push our issues to get them clear. Okay, so just for the rest of the members on the board, to let you know that Clay is going to take over on the Parks and Rec Committee for the EVA board. All right, and we'll work together and get all that completed. Now, as I get different things through the course of the month, if it relates to parks or planning or transportation or whatever is going on for the individual committees, I will usually send you guys an email or call you or something and get that information to you. For the committee meetings, hopefully you'll have an opportunity to go through some of that stuff that I receive and I push it out to you. Then you make whatever reports appropriate to whatever you feel is going on in that action that we receive. Okay. Sometimes it might be an issue that has come up in the community. We have some issues with it, and this is where we start getting involved to find out how it really affects us. Okay. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Okay. Other than, see, I got one or two items here. Actually, one item, real specific. I had received a letter from Denise, and Denise is in our audience today. And this is in reference to a new newspaper, or a free newspaper that's coming out for the Eva Beach area, right?
Everywhere 96706.
Everything in 96706 area. Just like Kapolei has a newsletter, we're going to have a newsletter, or not a newsletter, but a newspaper.
Yes.
Right? So, at any rate, when I received this from Denise, I was looking at it, and really it's going to focus on whatever the community concerns are and or issues. And some of the top topics or areas, and correct me if I miss some of this stuff, please. Movers and shakers primarily, educational areas, school highlights, safety issues, community news or events that's going on. Memory lane, if you want to kind of give a little history into different things. And I know there's a lot of history here in Eva, so that may be a piece that somebody wants to put together. Community voices, development, sports, and community leaders, which basically all of us are community leaders in a sense, but there's other people that are out there that do a lot of things in the community. Now, when I received this, I thought it was an excellent idea because this actually gives us an immediate voice in our own newspaper for our specific area to get the information out to the audience. Yeah. Good? Okay. All right, we're getting there. Okay. So I also looked at it and I said, well, I'm sorry, once a month, right, Denise?
It's a once a month, yes.
Okay, once a month, kind of a thing. Do you know approximately when the issues may come out, when it starts?
Usually in the beginning of each month.
The beginning of each month. Okay. Now, just for your information, the second Thursday on each month is when we have our board meetings.
Okay.
Okay. So if it comes out on the first week of the month, right? So you'll be putting out things in reference to previous board meetings, coverage like that. Okay. All right. So that sounds good. And at any rate, when I received this email pertaining to the newspaper for Eva Beach, I said, hey, this is a great thing. However, Rich cannot write every month, you know. So I need all you guys to think about what we're doing. And if we're talking once a month, and you're talking 12 issues out of the year, okay? And whether you canvass your immediate areas, your neighborhoods, or your streets, or whatever, try to gather some different information on these several topics. And what I'll do is I'll make copies of these and get them out to you later. Oh, Denise, do you have any?
I have more.
Okay. Do you have enough for?
Yes, I do.
Well, we'll need at least 11 more if you have. Okay. At any rate, she's going to give you like a little flyer here. It'll identify all the topic areas that they're interested in putting in their newsletter for us, and it is a free newsletter to our community residents.
It's a free newspaper?
Yes. Yeah, I keep calling it a newsletter. I apologize. It's a newspaper.
Not another young boy coming in the morning like, collection!
Hey, not yet.
Nobody home!
Yeah. Okay, so you know, I thought this was a good piece that I needed to bring up to the committee, to all committees, you know, for information and very seriously, I don't have a problem in writing some of this stuff, but I'll need everybody's input. What we could do on a regular basis, utilizing the outline for the articles, if you guys feed me information on any particular subject, and you feed it to me every month, let's say at least by the third week of every month, if you give it to me, when do you need a deadline?
It'll probably be the third week
Okay.
before the month, yeah.
You guys are gonna have to give me everything by the board meeting, or the second week. I would say probably, yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Not later than the second week of the month.
Published for the next.
Yeah, and if you give me information, then whatever you give me, I'll compile and I'll give it to Denise for publication for that next issue, okay? And I look at it as a collective action. It's not my action, it's a community action. And we'll also mention this in the regular board meeting. And if there's any community residents that have input that they think they want to do, then, you know, consideration now. You know, a lot of the stuff will be edited, you know, so we have some good clean language out there. But I think it'll be a benefit overall. It'll be a good voice for the community, and especially hearing from their board members and or other members in the community. And I would think that would also apply to some of our safety officials as well.
Yeah.
You know, the fire, police, and all those guys, if they have any kind of input. And with that, as I push that, or as this board pushes that stuff to you, some of the issues that we get, do you get, let me ask this question real quick, do you get the agendas from the meetings?
I don't think they get it,
Okay.
but I've been checking out the
You
website.
can pull it online,
Yes.
okay, and we'll make sure you get the information how to do that. But a lot of the reports from the, well, first of all, the whole board meeting is going to be there. That's the minutes of the meeting. You may be able to you may want to extract some of that information to include with whatever I give you as far as our home. That'll help out. If it starts to look like it's going to be one-sided, all coming from me, we may have to stop.
I'll let you know.
But I want to encourage everybody to participate and do some kind of input. Okay, sounds good. Okay, as far as the executive committee side, that's pretty much all I had to announce or in effect report on. If you guys have anything else, Clay, Mitch, sorry. Okay.
Question for Denise.
Yes, go ahead.
Denise, were you doing this out of your house?
Actually, yes.
Okay. Secondly, thank you for all the time you give in the free stuff. But, other than your money and your time and your computer, and who's supporting the newspaper?
Good question. Actually, this is a sister newspaper to Voice of Kapolei, and my cousin is the publisher for that newspaper, Damon Joy Lunsford, and it's in its 5th year successfully. There's a lot of people who went to him from our community asking him to start one for Ever Beach, and because he's not a resident here, he didn't feel comfortable doing that. So he came to me with it a year ago, actually 2 years ago. Not good timing for me, and this past year I revisited it, and things seem really good. So we're starting up again. The newspaper, of course, is free to all the residents in 96706. I think, as you know, we have like over 12,000 homes, 40-something thousand readers. Right now, he's looking at actually distributing it through the mail, so that'll cost money. We're looking right now, and the representatives and the senators in our area are helping me. As well as if you guys have any leads for me, I'll be going to the different businesses here, as well as the developers, having them place ads and articles in our newspaper, and that'll carry us through. So if you all have any
And it
feedback.
will be delivered through the advertiser.
No, we're separate.
Will be
It'll
delivered to
be
you.
actually mailed through a regular US mail. Like how Midway does, and you know,
But he's the editor for 96707, right? Your cousin.
no, he's not. Oh, yes, but that's a separate entity from
Yeah.
the Star Bulletin and the Advertiser. It's called Voice of Kapolei. and it's also on the web.
Oh, I thought the Voice of Kapolei was part of the
No.
advertiser stuff, wasn't it? Okay.
Okay, good. Scott,
No,
committee report.
well, I think that it's very important to report on what's gonna be referred to as CAT, the Kala'eloa Advisory Team. And this is something that is spearheaded by former neighborhood board chair Tesha Malama. And as many of us know, Kala'eloa is a piece of property that's managed by the state, and in particular through HCDA, excuse me, the Hawaii Community Development Authority. And the big picture is that this piece of property that used to be Barber's Point is now Kala'eloa, and it's got a lot of different pieces of ownership. You've got federal ownership, state ownership, you've got some private management, and the state is very interested in having the Navy go ahead and complete the process of transferring all the property over to the state. And so the meeting that we had and will be having on a monthly basis has brought together different stakeholders, and the objective of what we'll be doing between now and next year is producing a report, an advisory report that'll be submitted to the governor, suggesting how we would recommend Kala'eloa being used. So I guess I would be offering you right now 2 reports. One would be that in the capacity of, I guess, traffic and transportation.
Right.
And it's going to be very, very important. And so I think that what I need to do is make sure that, in addition to documenting it, get everyone here really abreast of what's happening there, because it's a great opportunity. But we're in the early phases where we have the chance to proactively be involved. But if everyone doesn't fully understand what's happening now, it'll be a year from now, and we'll be reacting to whatever's been done and said. So, first meeting, first month, and I'm going to do my best to try to communicate, hopefully in a few minutes in the live meeting, of, hey, this is happening, and let's all be aware.
What kind of impact do you think it's going to have on us here at NEVA?
Well, I mean, that's a question you would answer in a lot of levels. Provided that more development is coming to Kala'eloa, and that's the end game of how we move forward on moving the property from the Navy to the state. Right. There's a lot of ideas for workforce housing and whatnot. So what we'd be looking at there is potentially more development, and so that would impact on NEVA is maybe good, right? But it's going to have a lot of the issues that everyone's going to be concerned with, like having more cars. But the impact's pretty monumental. So turn left on Geiger and go down the road a little bit to near the water.
Yeah.
And they have, if I may interject, Future Good Roads from Ocean Point that are also connected to, so they'll have connectivity locally.
You see what's
Are
happening.
we still on executive?
Yep. No, we're on all committees, in fact, transportation.
Oh, okay.
What you got?
Well, my question was, have you received any information from the neighborhood commission regarding the status on the at-large status from the
As a matter of fact, as you mentioned that, I was just making some notes here, and when Scott got finished, I was going to go ahead and bring that up. Scott, I didn't mean to cut you off. You good? Okay.
That's the report. I mean, you definitely want me to report on OMPO, but
Yes.
please entertain Gary and whatever else. Yeah.
Okay. In reference to the at-large seat, and I know this is on everybody's mind. First of all, you know that the at-large seat, we went to the commission and they did approve it. As of 3 days ago, they put an ad in the newspaper, which is gives you the 30-day notice. We will have a public hearing here at our December board is going out to the newspaper.
What was the sale list?
It's supposed to be.
From Michigan, what's the sale?
It was supposed to be in the newspaper, according to 2 days ago. Announcing the public hearing for the December regular board meeting. Now, for the board members here, I think we'll have to really get a consensus on that. And my personal thought is that we make sure that we control that as much as possible. We're talking about people coming in from outside to do a public hearing. I see whether we're eligible for, in their eyes, to see if we're ready to be going at large with those 2 separate districts. So that's set, it's ready to go. December is the meeting. Okay? My only concern is that we have a good consensus of where we are and where we're going with this thing and control the meeting. That's incorrect. We are having a December meeting as of, was it October? Yes, October. Yeah, they voted to have a December meeting. I put in on the agenda to do a recess in December, and I was voted down. They said they want to come. Nobody wants to take off on Christmas, so yeah, I got to come. Yeah, we will have a meeting. And actually, I was going to talk to our treasurer, and personally, I was going to talk to him, but what do you think? We got some funds to do something? A little refreshment?
Yeah, I mean, there's a refreshment budget.
This year?
So I don't see why.
Any problems with that?
Well, we couldn't eat in here.
Hey, we'll sign down.
It all depends on how much you want.
Hey, you just got to clean up after yourself. No popcorn and no popcorn.
Christian, for your guys' ongoing filming with Saber Media, do you guys have enough funds to go throughout the year? Because usually we divert the refreshment fund to pay for our media, so that we can have it. I think only going to be short for one filming.
Right.
So if, you know what I'm saying, I mean, we can always work out something on December to still have refreshments, if that's what you so want.
Okay, everybody bring potluck.
You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
I mean, we can still do that.
Yeah.
If that's what you want.
Budget forecast.
Well, we'll leave that up to finance and let us know what we got. Good point, Kurt, and I appreciate that. I didn't personally think about it, I don't think it came up though, and Scott will take a look at that, I'm sure, and make sure that we have enough to cover.
I had a question last month, when we went to church, and people saying, hey, how come the neighborhood board blanked out? I mean, there were voice but no picture. Do we,
Maybe we should get a reimbursement for that, what do you think?
discount?
What part?
Do we have a discount for that?
What
Thing is, Morelos,
Well, you know, they use
Yeah.
like anything, you know, if
So we
there's
went to church and go, oh, I don't know, I got a budget.
Normally, Olelo tells us something is not right and they reject it, so they preview it before. And I think there was a live event last month, so they didn't show it at 9 o'clock one of the weeks. So whenever they have a live event,
No,
they
but during
prep.
ours, it kind of cut out and was all black.
There's no guarantee.
In the future, you will not have that problem. You will be able to review your board meeting on streaming video coming in the future.
How in the future? How far out?
Actually, I think it starts in December.
just make sure you
Oh,
don't see it.
good.
No, I mean, the commission said that they want to start, but it's not all,
Not all neighborhood boards.
it's not all boards.
No.
It goes from one.
They're gonna do a pilot, and
This is a
Thank you.
pilot trial.
Thanks for
Oh,
that.
pilot trial.
Oh, we
Thanks for
stream
that,
a lot
Coach.
here, so
Huh?
streaming video should be here.
But I'll make it, I'll just interject real quick.
Yeah.
What we're saying right now, you'll see live on YouTube by midnight tonight.
Okay,
So that's what I'm doing over there. It's the whole neighborhood board, we live online.
Have you ever got a rating
That's
for
why you
Coelho?
moved, so you're like in the
On
camera
neighborhood
view.
board?
Now I understand.
Well, that's the pretty girls. So.
Meaning that, out of all
all right,
the,
hold it. Not everybody can talk at the same time.
There's a
I
blessing.
cannot hear.
what I mean is that all the neighborhood boards, that shows up on Olelo. Have you ever got a reading how Pebble Beach is doing? Because I tell you, at work, I mean, everybody watches it.
You get tired?
You hear a lot about
It's like
FLP.
a soap opera because they record it and then during our lunch break, everybody watches
They
it.
watch.
wow.
It's very lively.
Wow.
So,
Everybody,
you
everybody
get a
likes to
discount on
watch
Olelo
Pebble
or, you know.
Beach. Are we gonna get an Oscar this year, you think?
You gotta think about how big
You
it
should pay more for them having to put up with it.
I haven't, to answer your question, no, I haven't, asked for any recommendation.
That means no one has a life.
Can we actually, you follow up on that? Maybe we can get an idea. That would be
You
good.
know, I called, but they don't know.
Okay, I'll give you a name and a number, an executive guy, and he is great. I'm sure he will give you the information.
How's the rating?
Yeah, seriously.
I would love to know
His
because,
name is, she's down in the parking lot. She starts at 7 o'clock. I'll give you his name and number and for a level, and I'm sure he'll be able to get that information for you. Good guy. Okay, where are we at on board, committee reports? Anything?
I went to
Oh, go ahead.
Davey and I, nothing yet.
Nothing,
I
okay,
go to the hearing,
okay,
3 or 4, not 4, something.
okay. All right. Sounds good. We are working in the right direction, I think. Okay, looks like it is. Scott, you had something else? Sorry.
I should report on OMPOS as well, whenever we're ready for that. So, we're aware that I represent this board on what's called the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization. This is an advisory group, and in the words of Congressman Abercrombie, we put forth a voice to elected officials about what the people would like to see happen in government. It's a great process. There's 2 levels, as always. There's the Citizen Advisory Committee, which I get to serve on. And we all get to meet and have ideas and speakers, and then we put forth an agenda towards the elected officials and the appointed people to take action. But we do at least advance the voice of the people, and it's a good thing. We're very fortunate because our own senator serves as chair of OMPO. And so last month's meeting, we had, I think what's come up of most interest is that we had asked OMPO to consider this whole public-private partnership thing as a way to pay for roads. And even our esteemed governor made the comment today at the West Oahu Economic Development Authority meeting, where she also announced weed and seed funds were released, that, hey, we need to be able to pay for these roads. And so the rambling is that OMPO is, learned about and said to our elected officials in OMPO, we'd like for you to consider public-private partnerships. And unfortunately, we received a letter back. We were rebuffed. Our motion to have the senior OMPO committee consider advising Senator English and his committee to hear this piece of legislation. Unfortunately, our senator, Mr. Sparrow, didn't allow that to move forward. And OMPO, our citizen group, received a letter from Senator English scolding us, telling us that it really wasn't our position to be advising him or elected officials on how to do their jobs, and that was not really consistent with our mission. And then he referred to the splintered paddle metaphor and how having toll roads, which is the way he likes to characterize public-private partnerships, is in defiance to the traditional Hawaiian values whereby you can travel on all highways. And I'm sorry, yes, sir? And oceans, yes, sir, and it's a wonderful thing. But it's unfortunate that we were chastised, and I say we, meaning those of us that try to be the voice of you, to say, hey, could you hear this? And so that's the status right now. We don't really know if it'll be heard, what initiative will be taken, but I promise you'll hear more about the whole public-private partnerships. And as you hear the word recession and cheap dollar, there are a lot of people around the world that could quite easily finance some of the roads that we're interested in. And it's just the way it is. And so I hope that we all keep an open mind about it. There's pros and cons to everything. It's about exactly. Thank you.
So, I have a question for you. If he doesn't like to hear from elected officials, how about hearing it from a taxpayer?
I mean, I wish that
I mean, it would bring out a whole big kind of worm, you know? I mean, he should keep it within and deal with it within, but if he doesn't want to listen to you guys, hey, I'm ready to, I'm a taxpayer. I think I pay too much.
I need to share that letter. You do, yeah.
I think I pay too much, I get very little.
And kind of the audacity, I mean, I'll be candid, the audacity to say, I'm exalted, I'm on a throne. You peasants do not bother me with your meddlesome input, mass public. It's so defiant of what we kind of are all here for. So yeah, I think I should get that letter to you and others, because it was pretty offensive.
Yeah. Well, you know, then the next term, vote him out.
He's not ours, he's what, Maui?
He's Maui.
Maui, then, you know.
Scott, private partnership with the roads, you need for like even incentives for the guys that will be building the roads. If they want to invest, they give you money, that will come in hand in hand. So I don't know why you
See why he would interfere. And I mean, and for the object on principle, fine, and not because we don't, because they're telling us.
That's how, I have a
What's
question
up,
for you.
Baldwin and Maui Planning, not to pay for all those roads up there in Maui.
There's an RCA that
If you put most of the roads up there for their phones.
I'm trying to search for the letter now. I got it like in my
I
inbox.
have a question for you. For every single home that is sold, I know that the developers have to give to the state. Okay, for the infrastructure. And every townhouse, whatever, they have to give a different price. Okay. Why, over the years, they haven't raised that? Why don't they raise it today? I mean, why don't they raise it higher? They only pay like $250 per house. I mean, it's not gonna help for $500,000 or more. We should get more than that. Huh? Yeah, that's the one bedroom.
That was brought up because the development on Big Island and on Island, they pay more per house they build.
Per house.
And that's on the whole island.
Really?
Yeah.
So, you know, they gotta stop this political thing and some even more people.
Someone's getting kickback.
Yeah. I wonder who.
Oh, and that's the all communities meeting, I don't know that one. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
not on.
It was an earlier list that I had received, and I sent a bunch of comments. It's okay, we need money.
That's an ongoing issue of that money set aside, and where is it going out to be used?
So who has the power over the developers? The developers? Or the elected officials?
I believe that once that money is set aside, it's in the government's hands.
The set aside is the question, it's not like the whole set aside, to my knowledge. I mean, I think it's
It's
like
a
every.
paper thing, okay.
That's-
Okay.
Like the federal government.
Exactly, it's like something.
You know, I remember Glenn said at one time, the governor can make a decision in 15 minutes. Why can't they make a decision on all? The governor had made an overnight decision, I forget what it was.
Okay,
I forget what it was on.
let me break into there for you. We have, we're still in the all committees meeting. So I know we've been in a little general consent conversation. And Gary has something to report on one of the meetings that I was supposed to attend to, so he filled in for me.
I would mention that if you guys, neighborhood plan that the president have in 1998, being revised, and it's being revised and it's been meeting for almost
1, 2, 3.
The final draft is out, and they had a public hearing on November 3rd on Kapolei and Kaneohe, and November 5th at the Honolulu Yohana. And if you go to the website, you guys can download it. It's kind of long, but comments are expected in by December 7th. So you guys can put in all you guys' comments, read it, and it's kind of long, but it's kind of thick, because this is the revised development plan. The other plan will got 73 pages. This got 200 and something pages, you know. So I think you guys should read it because there's a lot of things going on, a lot of changes going on to the present one.
Okay, there.
You can read it on the website. If you go to Honolulu, where is that? www.honolulu.gov//NCO. Yeah.
Leave it there, leave it there.
Yeah.
Switch it back, switch it back. Okay.
Roadways, utilizing the tolling concept.
So you want to bring it up,
Whatever you feel is more appropriate, maybe, you know, we can consult the rest of the board members here. Do you want to hear the spiel now, or do you want to wait till the meeting?
Okay, well, let's get a consensus of the board with you guys.
Didn't we discuss it last meeting? You want to update it?
It went to the Apple Policy Committee, I have a copy here to give the secretary if you want to do that. In fact, to my understanding, I think the letter to Secretary English was going directly to the Apple Policy Committee members. But it gives a definition of why the bill would, he would not entertain the board's direction. I'd like to have that internet too. So during the regular meeting, that's when that could be a motion be made. And I actually have a motion, you just have to bring it out.
And there's no reason why I, as a member, if I get a hold of it, can't share it, is that correct?
Well, that's true.
Right.
You are a member of the overall committee. So, yes, you should be able to. So, basically, it'll come up twice. But once you guys kind of confer, want the two of you to come together and make just one,
Yes, sir, yes, sir, listening.
come together and keep talking.
Yeah.
Board Chair Richard Green, legislature, representing us in the meeting, and it's very important that we have representation. Praise the Lord.
In the shop.
It's Campbell. Campbell Tech. I'm Campbell Tech. No, you guys listen to me. Not really. It's better. No buzz, but you got to speak loud.
Switch it. Do you hear a buzz? Do you hear a buzz?
I hear nothing.
You don't hear nothing. Okay.
It says that you try to